We've been given a brief, and the brief is to work on this artifact that's supposed to withstand the test of time.
It is something that needs a story around it and a certain meaning, and something where the story kind of survives the object itself. So you can take, for example, the cross of Jesus Christ. These are wooden pieces with the story that perpetuates over time. These become valuable to a certain group of people, and that is what makes them a relic. So that's what we try to achieve, is to create relics that have the story of IDE attached to them, and this story needs to survive over time, whereas the objects are the manifestation of this story in our world.
We're at Grymsdyke Farm, which is this wonderful experimental laboratory really in the middle of the Chilterns countryside. We've decided to bring our second year students in their first week of term to do a team building project over a short weekend, so 3 days. It's really to kick-start the second year, because the first term of the second year they do a group project in teams, but we really wanted to make sure those teams really knew each other really well. And so we've set them an exercise that they have to create something from waste materials that are available in this facility that represents some values, a manifesto almost, as a touchstone for their team. Something that they can go back to when they're struggling with their project, remind them of their ambition and keep them going. So there are various aspects to that. There is the sustainability aspect, so we're using materials that have been left over from other projects, everything from aluminium offcuts to willow, flint that's available in this area, a whole variety of materials.
It's a very interesting constraint because used materials always have something left back in their characteristics and their properties from what process they went through and who interacted with them before. You feel the history in the material. All of our waste turns into replicas of a certain kind. You know, like everything that we're producing, especially in landfills, it's just being, layered and layered and layered. And who knows what someone in a billion years is going to find. So it's just interesting to be a part of that chain in history.
I think the value is to take a step back and to look at what we are as a cohort in IDE, but also what the core values of IDE are, what are the stories that makes this course what it is and our practice what it is, and then trying to instill this in a crafted object.
IDE is all about design through making, so this farm, with all the tools that they have, the machines and the workshops, is the best space for them to go quickly from a quick drawing or a quick idea to picking up a material that they find interesting and then start to work with them. And through the process of transforming them, cutting them, putting different things together, they can be doing this idea of design through making instead of the analysis paralysis.
Really letting ourselves be taken by that process of play, being led by the materiality, by the narrative, by the serendipity we find in different processes, is really something that kind of helps us be more creative and find out what kind of shared creativity we have as well as a team, because individuals coming together, it builds something quite different.
One of the fundamental things we believe in IDE is that we really believe in collaboration. The combination of people coming from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different cultures, really is a great catalyst for innovation, because you've got different points of view, you've got different experiences, you've got different expertise, and you mix that up and something really interesting happens, something new and interesting comes out of that process. So it's a really important fact that we're trying to create that sort of cohort bonding, and they really get to understand each other as a whole.
This weekend is about experimentation, failure, trying, discovery, material transformation, but mainly being together, discovering together. We want the student to understand what their identity as a group, what can they bring to the table to create the next positive impact for the planet.